Hello my dreamers, it's Skyee here and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today we're going to be starting our March color along. This was decided by vote. So I wanted to do a Rita Berman book this month. Just because I wanted to use my Inktense pencils because my wrist has been bugging me, and also I definitely want to color a little bit more in her books this year. That's kind of my plan. I love her images. So I let everybody choose between the 5 books that I have. So I put a poll up and Europe was chosen. And then I let our channel members vote between 5 pre-selected pages that I had chosen. And for the first time ever, we actually had a tie. So I was kind of trying to figure out what to have as a tiebreaker, but ultimately I just ended up choosing between those 2 pages myself. So the 2 pages that were tied is this one. I do absolutely love this page, and unfortunately this is not the page that we're going to go with. I figured we'd go with something a little bit more detailed, and this one was the other one, and I thought this one would be super fun, the little bakery scene. It's super cute. So this is the one that we are going to go ahead and color. We're going to start off with the bakery itself and kind of figure out colors from there. I have a few ideas with this page, but I'm not exactly sure where it's going to take us, but it should be interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna get some colors and we'll zoom on in and get started. I actually don't know if this page is any more or less detailed than the other one. They're actually probably pretty similar. I do feel like this one has a little bit more going on though. I'm just gonna go ahead and sharpen my pencils here. Okay, so I have a few colors chosen out here, and we'll kind of see what we can do with them. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start up here. I'm going to start in with the violet. I'm just going to use this as a little bit of an accent color. So I'm just going to touch it in on just some random areas here. We don't have to have our fades super defined, I suppose. I'm not fading them out super nicely like we would with pencil, because when we activate these, that's when they're going to kind of come to life. I don't want to add too much purple, but I do want a little bit. Add a little bit of purple on the windows here too. I'm going super light here. I want these windows to be very light. Okay, let's just focus on this top part here. I think I want this up here to be kind of like the same color. We can see this, right? Just gonna pull this down a little bit. Since we're only focusing on the top right now, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm in frame. Okay. We're going to come in with the peacock blue. This is going to be our darkest color. So I'm going to pull this into some of the shadowed areas. I'm going to mix it in with the violet in some areas. Just going to lightly go in here because I think these are lights, or at least we're going to try and have them as lights. So I'm going to try and make it look like it's glowing. I don't know how well that's going to work. I don't know if I've ever done that with the Inktense, but we'll see what happens. Let's have it a little bit darker here. And then we're going to fade it down a little bit lighter around here, because again, there's a light there. Okay, let's maybe leave that there for the peacock blue. Let's go in with the bright blue, which is kind of our medium color. So just bring this out in some areas. It's not much rhyme or reason for what I'm doing. I'm trying to make this actually really random, and I'm a little bit nervous for how it's going to turn out. I also, on the same hand, I feel like it's going to turn out pretty good, so I guess we'll see. For the most part, we just need to trust the process. Let's make some darker areas here with this color. Okay, I want to go back into the violet a little bit here. Let's see, I'm going to add some here. And a little bit here as well. I want these to be a little bit darker, whatever this part is. So I just want to add a little bit of the violet up in there. And then I don't know what these are supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be windows. Sorry, let me put my phone on. Do not disturb here. Yeah, I think those are supposed to be windows. I'm not too sure what to do with those. Let's add in a little bit of the violet on these bits as well. And then let's come in with our lighter color, which is going to be the green aquamarine. So for the most part, I want to keep this really light, but I am going to add a little bit more darker areas in here too. But we are just going to lightly go over all of the uncolored areas with this, just lightly. And then again, we'll darken it up in some areas. This is going to be the main building color, so I do want it to be fairly prominent. Maybe add it in a little bit darker here, maybe. it a little bit darker underneath here. I'll probably come back in over the lettering with like a gold gel pen or like gold watercolor, or maybe white, we'll see. Posca pen, there's lots of different options to kind of come back over this. It's pretty fine detailing, so if we end up losing any details in the process, we can bring them back with some kind of pen that can go over top. And make along here a little bit darker. Just bordering the outline of this border, or whatever it is. Okay, let's make it a little bit darker in here too, particularly around this violet here. I feel like these colors will mix really nicely together. I'm gonna add a little bit of the green aquamarine on the windows here as well. Okay. What is our lightest blue? I think it's the iris blue for these ones. Let me just see here. Let's do a little bit of the iris blue in here too, just very, very lightly. We're gonna mix a little bit of the Payne's gray in here as well. I'm hoping that it doesn't muddy it up, but we'll see. Again, super, super light. I don't want these windows to be very dark. Same with the Payne's gray, extremely light with this one. I think particularly around these lines might look interesting. Okay, and then let's go in with the antique white, and we're just going to put a heavy layer over all of these colors. I'm not pushing super hard, but I am using a little bit of a firmer pressure to just really get that pigment on there. I'm just kind of going with the colors that I am most certain about, and then kind of going from there. Okay, I do know I want some kind of goldy yellows in here. Let's see what we can do. So let's see, I definitely want the amber and the mustard. I might end up keeping quite a bit of the color choosing and stuff in here. Normally I would edit that out. Depending on how long these parts end up running and how many parts this ends up taking, I will try to keep a lot of the color choosing in here, because I feel like a lot of people struggle with the Derwent Inktense, and I feel like it's a little bit helpful to have a general idea on how someone else might go about choosing their colors. I just kind of go with the ones that speak to me. So, I mean, not the most helpful, but so I definitely want the Sicilian yellow, and I want something bright. Let's do, let's see, I've got golden, Sicilian. Let's do sun. I swear I never sharpen these pencils when I'm done using them. Almost all of these are dull. Which is not the best when you have a fairly detailed page that you're working on. Okay, let's see here. Let's start with the amber. So this is going to be kind of like my darkest color in here. I'm going to pop this in a little bit more so in the backgrounds, the recesses of this piece. Okay, so there we've got our amber. I'm going to add some of the mustard in on these. I do want something a little bit darker. Maybe let's bring the oak in just a little bit, or yeah, the oak. I'm gonna give this guy a good sharpen. I want him pretty sharp. So just gonna try and give a little bit of a shadow to these. I want these parts to kind of look like they're sticking out a ways. Add a little bit of shadows up here too. Maybe not going all the way across, but let's just kind of space out a bit of shadow around these. Okay, maybe like that. So let's see what these colors I've picked out. Golden yellow. I definitely want a little bit in here. So I'm going to bring the golden yellow, I think, just out from where we put, what color was this? The mustard, I think, is what we put in here. So I'm just going to pull the golden yellow out from there a little bit. And then up here, I'm going to go over these designs with the golden yellow. Kind of fading out a little bit too, Just lightly going back in and putting a little bit of a fade on either side. It's a little bit tricky with these lights in the way here, but just gotta work around them. All right, let's see. Let's do the Sicilian yellow up here. So I'm just gonna lightly pop this in. Just pretty much over top of all of this. All right, and then with the sun yellow, I'm gonna pop that in on these ones here. And then let's just go in with the golden yellow a little bit more on these ones. Just kind of randomly, I'm going to create some just other darker areas in amongst the, what was this, the sun yellow, I think? That's going to be my problem here, is remembering the last color I put down. Especially because they do all look very similar. I'm not sure what color I want this to be. I'm thinking the building color, but I don't know. And I think this is enough where we can kind of start to see how our colors are looking. So I'm just going to grab my water brush here. Make sure they're filled with water, and I'm just going to grab a paper towel. All right, so for me, I have fairly cheap water brushes. So when I first start using them, it'll be a little bit of water at first without even touching it, and then it'll just all of a sudden start to pool. So I have to be careful. I'm just going to come in and carefully start activating this. I'm going to work on one area at a time. Cleaning my pen off in between each area. And the nice thing about these Inktense pencils is we can always go back in and add more colors if we feel we need to. I definitely got a little bit of the yellow in on this part. That turned out quite green, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna go over the lines here, activating a lot of the, whatever the darker yellow on here was. Okay, and we'll come back to that. Let's keep working on the building. The idea there is once that dries, we can go back in and activate the rest, and then we'll have a little bit of a darker kind of shadow there. Because the nice thing about Inktense is once they dry, they do not reactivate. So we'll have a little bit of the darker yellow activating in there later because we definitely did not activate all of it, but it'll kind of help keep our lighter yellow a bit more noticeable. It's not gonna get overpowered as much. Hopefully, we'll see. Okay, let's come down to the window panes here. Okay, I like how that's looking. We'll probably, let's see, do kind of the background for this area. Let's do that. Okay, we can come back up here and finish activating this area. Yep, that worked out good. Okay, let's Come back down here and we can do the frames. There, I do feel like that looks really pretty. I don't have anything bleeding through or anything, which is good. I was originally thinking of having like brown bricks with like a little bit of a gray background fading out. I don't want to color the entire background of this page. So I just want to have it kind of like fading out a little bit, but I really like this to the point where I think it'd be really pretty to have the bricks matching this. I don't know, I think it would be really pretty. I'll have to think on that. And I don't know what color to do the flowers either. We'll see. Okay, let's grab the amber. I just dropped the swatch. Just gonna color this piece here. Come in with the oak a little bit, just on either side mostly. I want to grab the Payne's Gray and put just like a little touch on each of these pearls. I don't want too much, just like a hint of it. So I think I want these beads to be white. But we do want a little bit of a shadow color in there as well. We'll probably go in a little bit later and add some finer details over top with pencil. I think let's take our violet and let's kind of color in this area here. Just looks a little funny. And then I do think I want this to be kind of the same color as the building. So add a little bit of the violet, add a little bit of the, let's do some of the darker colors. We'll do the peacock blue in there as well. And then with the green aquamarine, we'll just lightly go over that so that way we can put those together. Just make sure our water brush isn't gushing water. I'm just going to color these by kind of tapping them because I don't want to completely rub the gray out all over the little beads. I want it to, oh gosh, it's a little bit too much there. I want it to kind of dissolve into the water and kind of like spread on its own, if that makes sense. And I think just to keep it simple, I think these should be the same kind of goldy colors as well. So maybe let's do that. I'm gonna go in with the amber and I'm gonna color in these pieces. I'm going to go in with the oak, and along the bottom of each, I'm going to give it a shadow. We're not going to get super lost in the details, because one thing I've always found is if the page is super detailed like this, you just want the page to stand out as a whole. You can put a little bit of effort on each detail, but you definitely don't need to overdo it or overthink it, which is the best part, in my opinion. I'm going to grab the mustard. I'm going to go all along the bottoms of these areas with the mustard, I think, and just fade it up a little bit. And then I think we used the golden yellow on this. So let's do that on the hoops. And then I'm pretty sure we used the sun yellow on this one as well. And that I'm going to put on these little leaf looking things. Yeah, I like that. I was debating adding another color in there, but I think I want to keep the building pretty limited and then just have more color popping out in the details. I swear I just heard a cat, but I don't have any of them in here with me, so that's a little strange. Part of me wants to have like this part dark, so we can add like little stars and have like some glowing bits. But the other part doesn't, because this is already, if we do the bricks with this, this is already going to be dark, and we would want the bricks to pop out, so we would want the background to be light, which wouldn't really work for this. Not in like the same magical way. Those little sparkles and stuff just always look better against dark. But I'm very stuck on doing the bricks the same color. Let's do it. We'll figure out the background later, but I definitely think that the bricks need to be just need to be that same color. I don't know why, they just do. So starting in with the violet, we're just gonna pick out some spots on these. Don't have to put the violet on all of them. And again, we're only doing the top half. So I think from like the flowers up. Yeah, I think the flowers will be kind of like our divider. Okay, peacock blue is next. Again, that's kind of a fun one to put right beside the purple, kind of over top, mixing them together, but it's also good on its own too. Kind of the same as the building. I'm mostly just doing this randomly. There it is. I'm actually reading the labels this time. You guys would be proud of me. Okay, bright blue is next. Apologies if you can hear my tummy grumbling. I think it's almost lunchtime. All right, and then in with our green aquamarine. Again, this one is, for the most part, a little bit lighter unless there's some areas where we want to have it darker. I think I'm pretty much okay with having this lightly throughout though. It's also going to bother me that there's one random leaf there. But I imagine it'll probably be the same color as the leaf from the flowers. All right, let's activate these. And see what they look like. So my best advice for like activating things, I like for the most part to start in the lighter area, and then I like to go into the darker area, just kind of smear it around. The water will help it blend, and a lot of the times if you have like a little bit of like harsher blends with the Inktense, I find that it actually looks better. I'm usually just too scared to do that with pencil. It'd probably look good with pencil too, but yeah. For the most part, you can let the water kind of do its own thing. If you think one spot is a little bit too light, like let's say, for example, on this brick here, I'm going to start here and work my way into the shadows. And I think this spot is too light. I'm going to pull my shadows up into here. So you can kind of manipulate the colors a little bit. You don't really have too much play. Most of it's pretty random, which is what I love about it, because you don't have much control. You put the colors down and you try your best, but for the most part, it does the work for you. But you do have that little bit of control. So I can pop a little bit of colors up there if I wanted to. I don't really want it to dry like that though, so I'm gonna go blend that back out a little bit. Oh my goodness, my tummy is very angry. I'm so sorry if you hear that. Oh, that is so pretty. I have no idea what we're gonna do for the background, but I love that. I feel like for the most part, this stuff should be dry enough that we can go in and add some highlight. I think for the highlights, I'm going to use the sherbet, what is it, the sherbet lemon? Yeah. Sorbet, sherbet, don't know how to say it, but we're using this one anyways. So I'm just going to color these orbs in. We'll be going in with a lot of white on these lights too, I think, because I want them to stand out a little bit, but I'm not going to touch any lights that go towards the outside. I actually shouldn't have done that one. But oh well, we'll do this one backwards and see what happens. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow coming out from these. So I'm just basically making a glowing orb around them. And then I'm going to take, I think, the golden yellow. Actually, I don't know why, but I'm going to do the amber. And I'm going to put a little bit of the amber just in the center. Okay, so I'm going to go mostly in around the edges and then go in over the amber at the end. The amber actually isn't very noticeable in this, but it does give us a little bit of a darker kind of center. I don't know if we want to, I don't think we do. I don't think we want to activate the yellow. I think we want to just leave it like that. So realistically, we could probably do the yellow with the Prismacolors, but this way is fine too. What color of flowers are we thinking? Let's see, we're gonna have the roses down here are gonna be like a pinky purple probably. We're probably gonna have some pink, some pink decorative pieces on the cakes down there. Maybe we should just continue on, and I was thinking about just keeping mostly the top, but we might as well just do the bottom of the bakery as well. So let's go back through our colors. Underneath the awning, I'm going to make it fairly dark, so I'm going to put quite a bit of the violet here. I absolutely love the result we have going right now, and the amount of effort. It feels like we've gotten a lot done in an hour. I probably shouldn't tackle this because I feel like it's going to be a bit longer, but we'll see what happens. Let's have it a little bit darker coming from under this tree. And I'm just going to check a million times to make sure that I'm in frame. Now I'm mostly just kind of picking out some random areas for the purple. Also just kind of debating back and forth in my head what colors to go with, what to do. I'm not sure. We'll just figure it out as we go. Okay, let's come in with our peacock blue. So again, this is another dark one, so this is a good one to combine in some of these darker areas. I'm gonna pop it in the corners of the building for sure. And then just in like these very inner recesses up here. Okay, we don't want this to be too dark, so maybe we should stop there. And let's go in with our bright blue now. If I can find it. There it is. And again, I'm just kind of popping this in randomly. I'm keeping it pretty close to the shadows. The bottom is going to be a bit darker than the top. Mostly by design. I'd like it to look the same but stand out a little bit. I'll put some lighter areas of the bright blue in some of these spots where it's just going to be the green, what is it? Green aquamarine. I also like, do we want these to be windows? They don't really look like windows. I'm just not too sure on those. Okay, so in with the green aquamarine. So let's start laying this out. And working pretty light. We're going to pop this in with some of these other colors though too, so it's not just by itself. We want it to blend in some of these other areas. I'm going to blend it in a fair bit up here. Trying not to increase pressure, but just layer it a little bit more so the pigment shows through. I have to add more color there. I totally forgot about this spot. Let's add maybe let's add just some of the bright blue here. All right, let's activate what we have here. Need a little bit more water. It's very hard not to get pigment in places you don't want it. There we go. So yeah, definitely ended up a bit darker than the top, but I do really like that. Okay, so now we just need to decide on some of these other details here. Like I know I want this gold. I'm thinking these should be gold too. But I don't know about the insides. I don't know what I want to do with the inside of that. Okay, let's go in with the violet. I'm gonna go light with these. I think I want these areas to be a little bit lighter for the door. So let's add a little bit of the violet. This part's gonna be window. Let's add a bit of the violet to the sign here. See, this is gold. Make this part a little bit darker. Let's add a little bit of violet to each side of this, and then maybe kind of outlining this. These as well. These are going to be pretty dark, I think. Okay, let's go in with the peacock blue. Again, pretty light on the door. I'm just randomly throwing it in there. Let's go coming out from either side here. And then just coming out a little bit from the violet. Got a bad habit of keeping the swatches on the page. Okay, bright blue is next. A little bit of that here. So lightly add that in here, just on the frame, and then we'll bring this in towards the center, kind of fading it out a little bit. And then lightly over top of the uncolored areas with the green aquamarine. Just like that. Okay, let's activate. That looks cute. I just kind of dragged whatever was left on the pen in there to create a little bit of a lighter shade. Okay, starting on the center. And we'll work our way to the outer edges. Okay, I think those were the only areas we colored. We're still doing pretty good on time too, so that's awesome. Let's see here. I suppose what we could do with these, and actually I think it's a good idea. Let's grab our amber. And we're going to color these in. Okay, and then we're going to grab the oak and create a little bit of a shadow here, bottom left. And we'll do a little bit of a shadow here just along the left side. And the bottom. Okay, we got that. Now I can't exactly remember what colors did we use for the up here. I think we used the mustard, the golden yellow, and the sun yellow, I think are the colors we used. Hopefully, that's what I'm gonna go with. So we'll see what happens. We'll start with the mustard. Okay, and we're gonna come in. This is gonna be a little bit of a shadow color. It's our darker yellow, so we're just gonna add this in some areas. Especially if I've accidentally colored over it with any of the blues. This is a great time to try and hide it just a little bit. It's not gonna fully cover it, but might help. Might help a little bit. Okay, let's go in with the golden yellow. So this is just going to come out a little ways. I'm not sure if I want the heat vent to be yellow or not, so we're just going to leave that one for now. Okay, and then with the sun yellow, we're going to go over pretty much all of it, mostly just focusing on the uncolored areas though. I love being able to be messy and like not have to worry about blending and fading with these. It is great. Okay, while we're at it, let's grab the violet. Super, super light. This is gonna be window. So we're gonna add just a little bit of shadow to the corners. Maybe a little bit of a shadow underneath the sign there. Let's see, we didn't use peacock blue. I think we used the bright blue. Hopefully. All of the barrels will look the same. Okay, bright blue. Add just a little bit of that. I don't know if we added the green aquamarine, but I'm going to. And then I'm pretty sure we added the iris blue. I'm pretty sure we brought that one in specifically for the window. Could be wrong, but I think we did. So really light with this one too, even though this is a little bit of a lighter color. Just pop that in there, and then Payne's Gray. Where's that? This is mostly going to be for the words. A little bit for the sticker, or whatever this is. And then Antique White. And same as up top, we're just going to put a large amount of this to help mix and keep these colors light. I'm curious actually though, before we activate that, I'm gonna pull this up a little bit. And I am in fact going to activate the yellow here. So just concentrating mostly around these orbs. Okay, you'll see why later, maybe not in this part because I'm going to need that to dry. But all right, let's go ahead and activate our gold. Okay, we can also activate this kind of darker yellow too. Okay, and last but not least, let's activate the window. All right, I think the last thing we'll do is these last few bricks maybe, or should we save them for next time? No, let's color them. Let's do it. Okay, so kind of same sporadicness that we had going on last time. I think that's a brick hiding in behind the flower thingy. Okay, peacock blue is next. Okay, bright blue is after that. And last but not least, if I can find the swatch here, green aquamarine. I imagine that this is a brick behind here because it's not speckled like the stuff coming away from the building. Okay, for bricks like this, I'm going to color that. I'm going to wipe it off. And then I'm going to come back in with whatever color is left, and I'm just going to fade it out like that. So same with this one. A bit of a coughing fit there. Had to go get some water. I'm still sick. I don't know what I have, but it's definitely not wanting to go away. That's for sure. This one on the side, I'm going to start coloring in where there's nothing, and then I'm going to bring it forward, and that should help. Oh, excuse me. That should help bring the blue out towards where it's wet, and it will kind of blend itself. I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm just going to get this area wet a little bit, and then go in to finish the brick. All right, there we go. I think this is a good place to stop for part one. I definitely feel like we got a lot done. I feel like if we were working with pencil crayons, we probably would have only gotten like half of this done maybe. So yeah, I definitely love the Inktense kind of as a cheat code, and they always look absolutely gorgeous. So this is what it's looking like so far. Just keep in mind, this is more of like a rough draft. It does look really good, but I think it will 100% look better once we have more in here. We still have highlights and other details to do. We still have some colored pencil to add that will define our colors a little bit more than they are now. And yeah, but this is where I'm going to leave it off. I'm going to go get some shopping done for the birthday boy. Little man's birthday, which is part of why I'm a little bit late starting to record this color along, but hopefully we'll be able to get up at a decent time for you guys. But yeah, I think that's everything. If you're enjoying this so far, please give it a thumbs up so that way it will pop up in other people's recommendations. They might enjoy it too. And with that being said, I'm gonna say goodbye and hopefully I will see you guys in part 2. All right, guys, as always, take care. Bye.